Good evening and welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton, Geoffrey, and Adam Ross as we are here most Tuesdays. I say most because off the top, you're going away next week, Adam, and we'll be off for 2 weeks. And Spencer requested a third because he'll be away. So January 4th, we'll be back here on Race Rivals. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us this season and year, and we'll see you next year after this show. Good that you're getting away.
Spence, oh shoot, we can't. Yeah, it is good. It is good. I got to do it publicly, Spencer. I'm sorry. Trayton, T-E-N. All the Lapsoviches are E-Ns.
That could be me too. I mean, I just typed it over. I'll take the.
But I typed it in, and then you retype it. Like you take what I do, and granted, what I do is a little.
Are you admitting that you made a mistake and I just copied your mistake?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I'm throwing you under the bus for taking what I did, which is already like broadcast ready. I've never done anything broadcast ready. Even when I'm in a broadcast, I'm not broadcast ready. But your hair looks great. I don't know which 90s boy band that you were in or you're portraying to be in, but it's a sharp look.
Hey, you busted my balls last week for being slovenly and wearing the same G-Force sweater 3 shows in a row. So I was going to put on the suit and tie, but if you want to bring up the 90s boy band, at least I still have the svelte figure of a 90s boy bander. I could still pull off the look as an 80s boy bander. You look like a boy bander would look in today's age. I still could pull off what they were like in their heyday. So
I look like the guy that ate a boy band. Like,
I was going to say,
be real.
Who's going to scare more children on the beach in Mexico if we were there for 2 weeks? You or me?
You know what? I considered that for a minute, but screw them, right? I paid my money.
Yeah. You're
I'll
welcome
go
to make
tits out on the beach
if you want.
I invested. I've been on a Mexican beach with our first guest, in fact. We did a Mexican water park.
I don't know if he's old enough to have those discussions with you. Let's talk about a couple other things before we bring on our first guest, because he's joining us here. A couple things we got to house clean up before we bring on young Trayton. He's getting older now, isn't he? Let's talk about last week's conspiracy theory. There's a lot of chatter on our show and in our community about the Weber Valley Speedway conspiracy theory you brought, and it's even started to concern Twitch It, one of our regular guys, obviously Connor's crew. He said that he has a new product out there that they've come out with this week. It's 2 styles of tinfoil hats for the conspiracies that fly around here on Race Rivals. Show product number 1 and 2, Spencer. They're available at imagefactor.ca. And
it's a pretty good look.
These tinfoil hats, yeah. There it is with the brim, and then and there it is, the toque style, beanie style. And it says Race Rivals. It's even embossed with Race Rivals, too.
It's either his conspiracy hat or he's frosting his tips tonight. Speaking of the 90s, it was a big thing.
Okay, I might have done that back in the day. Let's talk about...
The conspiracy is not gone. I didn't get not one single dispute that Greg Callan is not Weber Valley Motor Speedway. I even had conversations with Greg. I can't repeat what Greg said to me this week. Like, I cannot repeat it, but even he didn't deny.
Yeah, he didn't come right out in black and white, say, you're crazy, you're nuts, how preposterous, Adam. He just kind of said, he just brushed it aside. But we're going to investigate that over the next 3 weeks, and when we come back in New Year, we'll hopefully have some more news on that. Let's jump into Trayton Lapsovich. Trayton will join us now. Trayton's fresh back from Florida and at Five Flags in the Snowball Derby. He raced in the Snowflake 100 on Saturday night. Trayton, welcome back to the program. Our viewers here on G-Force also know you through the NASCAR Pinty Series and the APC Series, which we cover here live on G-Force. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good, man.
Good. Let's start broad. Talk about your experience in Florida this weekend. What do you compare it to?
I mean, I'm not sure there's anything to compare it to. It was definitely a one-of-a-kind experience. The whole atmosphere down there it's wild. Everyone, it's very competitive. Right off the bat, we found that out in practice. The times are just so close, and obviously that carried on to qualifying as well. I think it was only a couple tenths that was the difference between making the race and not making it. So, but overall, we were really happy with the whole experience. We achieved our first goal, which was just making the race, and then we finished the race as well. So that was all good, and then it gives us something to build on heading into next year.
Trayton, we're going to see some imagery of you guys pulling in with the white motorsports team. How did that come together? Like, from an outsider, and maybe, Adam, we should back it up a bit because we have a lot of dirt fans that watch this show as well. Maybe we need to explain the realm of how important the Snowball Derby at Five Flags is to the asphalt world in North America. So, Adam, or maybe you can touch on that too, Trayton, before I get into some of my questions. And I just want to know, Trayton, before we get too much into it, is how did the deal come together for you guys all to travel down together? Almost look like a super team of Canadian crew members and everything as you guys pulled it together. So, Adam, first you explain what the Snowball Derby is to the dirt fans, and then Trayton talk to us about how the deal came together and how you guys all gelled this week. Adam?
Yeah, I don't know what you would compare it to if you're a dirt fan. It's in the asphalt world, so it's not Super Dirt Week because Super Dirt Week is very regional. And these late models come from all over the United States. So whether you want to call it a Knoxville Nationals of sort, where the best of the best come in, and it's not affiliated with anything. I guess that's where I would compare it to, say, a Knoxville Nationals. It is a standalone event where if you want to be the best asphalt late model racer in the country or asphalt super late model racer in the country, that's where you have to go to put your exclamation mark on there. The names of people who have won that race, I mean, that's it. I can't think of a short track race with much more prestige than that. Trayton, your thoughts on the event?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone goes to the Snowball Derby to show what they got. The best teams from all around North America show up, and there's a lot of guys that race for a living that go to the Snowball Derby, and that's just not something that we see a whole lot here in Canada.
Trayton, let's talk about how the deal came together. When did the decision come? When did you guys start putting this whole package together? And, did you really work together with Brandon like it appeared on the internet? Were you guys tight like that through the week? How did it all come about?
Well, by the time that we figured out we were going, we had about 3 weeks to get the car ready. As it come together, it was kind of just me bugging my dad about it a lot, saying that I wanted to go, but it was a lot of, no, that's not happening. We're not going to do that. And then we kind of got serious about it at one point, and I think that was kind of after Winchester, and Caden ran the Winchester. We realized that we wanted to do some more racing down there, but still it was kind of just an idea. But we started to put together some marketing partners. We had some great people come along, Academy Construction, Leland Industries, RGC Sports, just some great people that were backing me, and we were able to make it happen and go down there. As for Brandon, it was great to be able to travel along with them to the race. We were able to rely on each other for a little bit of information. I mean, I wouldn't say we were constantly talking and sharing information back and forth, but we definitely conversed a couple times and talked about the lines of the track and what we thought our cars were doing.
Can you compare that racetrack to anything that our fans up here in Ontario might have seen before, Trayton?
Well, I would say I'd like to compare it to Jacasa, but it's just I felt the main difference between Jacasa and Five Flags was Five Flags definitely had a lot more character than we saw at Jacasa, just with the it's not brand new asphalt, so there's bumps and patches in the asphalt as well, but also the corners are quite a bit faster. I mean, it seemed like we were driving into the center of the corner before we even thought of lifting, and at that point it was just kind of like a burp in the throttle and then right back on it. So it was definitely a lot faster than it looks on TV and videos. I was blown away. I actually had a little bit of a scare in first practice, but it definitely woke me up for the rest of the weekend.
Trayton, so the results, were you pleased with the way you guys finished up the weekend? I mean, you came in fairly good in practice from what we saw times from up here, watching on Race Monitor and social media. Are you pleased with the way things came about?
Well, I mean, we are happy because it's awesome just to make that race. But at the same time, with the speed that we showed in practice, we're almost a little disappointed because I wouldn't say that we weren't expecting to be competitive. We were, but just as competitive as we were really happy with it. And to have the parts failure in the race, which really held us back from what we thought was going to be a very good showing, was just, it's a little disappointing, but it definitely makes us more eager to come back and maybe even participate in a few more events in the States in the next year.
Now, you didn't qualify as well as you practiced, which is not a knock, because as you say, the field is so very tight. Could that part have been starting to fail come qualifying, or walk us through that?
We think it could. Come to think of it, we did have a few things that were a little weird through the one practice session that we got on Saturday. Just our ride heights not lining up and stuff like that. Having some troubles in tech that we hadn't had all weekend long. So it definitely should have woke us up to maybe check some things out. But I mean, something like that was just, it's hard to find something like that breaking. It was a left front lower control arm, so. It's definitely hard to see until it is really broken like it was at the end of the race. As for qualifying, I think a little of that might have been because the car in front of me actually ended up wrecking, dirtying up the track quite a bit and possibly getting some fluid on it. So we think that might have had something to do with that as well. But, the times were just so close. I think we saw that a 10th would have put me like 5th or 6th place.
Just for the fans, where did you qualify and start, and where did you finish the race, Trayton?
I qualified 18th and we finished 14th.
Talking about plans to go back yet?
Nothing concrete yet. I would say that we'll probably end up back at the Snowflake 100 next year, and hopefully we can put together some more Pro Late Model races down there.
As far as the race itself, 100 laps, do you have to conserve much, Trayton, or is it pretty much up on the wheel from the drop of the green flag? Because, I mean, there were all-stars in that field at the front, in the middle, at the back. It didn't matter where you were running. There are good, aggressive racers out there.
Yeah, that was my plan, was to ride, because I watched a lot of the past Snowflake 100s, and it seemed like the guy who was leading at halfway wasn't necessarily the guy that won. And that was obviously a little different this year. Derek Thorne pretty much dominated the whole thing, I'd say. But tire conservation is really big there because the track's so abrasive. So it was all about saving the right rear and saving the right front. And I definitely think that would have helped had we been on pace at the end of the race.
Trey, before we let you go, this year you showed speed in everything we saw. I mean, you were a threat to win Pinty's races, APC races. But it also seemed like those races got away from you every way they possibly could this year. I mean, are you happy with the way the season ended? Are you dejected because of the luck you had? And what can you do at Christmas time to maybe get Santa to bring you a better luck for next year, man? Because you just had a rough year, but you were so damn fast everywhere you went.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Delaware was the first weekend that everything came together for the APC series, that is, and we were able to win it. So I think if everything comes together like that every weekend, we'd definitely be a threat to win everywhere we go, and every weekend, that is. But I guess we were happy with how the season went as for the Pinty series, because it's definitely not easy going in road course racing and not having much prior experience. So we were definitely happy with that aspect. As for the ovals, I mean, we definitely would have liked to pick up that win, but we definitely were able to show that we were there. And I think that means a lot heading into next year with the confidence level, because going into next year, I'm not a rookie anymore. I've been there, and I've understood how the races go and how the other racers around me want to race as well.
Right on, Trayton. Have you made formal announcements of your plans for 2022?
No, we haven't yet, but definitely some stuff in the works, and we'll be able to let everyone know right when it's available.
Good stuff. Well, thanks so much for making the time. Welcome back to Canada, and great job there on the weekend. You had a lot of fans watching.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Trayton Lapsevich, APC and NASCAR Pinty Series star, and pretty much anything he wants to get in these days, he's been dominating and looking very well. So good to have him back. Let's talk about the rest of the Snowball Derby, Adam. All kinds of other stuff went on.
You ever feel like we're too stiff? when we do these shows. Like, I feel like when we're live, it's real loose, and then we get a guest on, then we act all professional. It's just a big ruse. I think we should bust people's balls as soon as they get on and try to break the ice a little bit.
Go for it.
Throw them off their game some.
Do it. Ask them something stupid like you do me 2 minutes before we go on the air every week.
I forget what we were talking about before. I was just mostly your appearance. Now, even I'm not, because normally I just grab whatever t-shirts nearby. This to me is our holiday episode, so I got a clean golf shirt and threw it on. Like, I'm still only wearing a blanket on the bottom, but hey.
Don't need to know that.
Professional from the waist up. It's all that matters.
The Snowball Derby, we talked about Trayton's portion, which was the Snowflake 100 on Saturday. And there was also a truck race prior to that event that caused a lot of excitement. And then there was also the big Snowball Derby, the 300-lapper on Sunday. Let's jump into the Snowball Derby Sunday, and then we'll go back and talk a bit about the truck crash and look at some of the imagery from that. Spencer, show the highlights from the Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway.
The anticipation. They pick up the throttle. And the green flag is out for the 54 Snowball Derby presented by Hooters.
No matter what the race, it's awesome to see a packed house.
Derek
and a great field of cars.
Oh, yeah.
The technology advancement, the ability to keep that nose clean and to the ground on the racetrack sealed off is a big deal. If I remember right, Matt Craig last year at the All-American Pro 100 in a left front shot.
Actually, talking to Joel Robinson about this broadcast, he watched some of the action from down there. This is, I would say, for a streamed event, like, they bring an A-team down to this event, from the director to the camera workers. They do a nice job presenting it, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was very well done as well. Spencer, we're looking for about the 1 minute 20 mark, and that would be the right after the restart that basically decided the race.
It's all good. We'll get to it. I didn't watch any of this. I pay for a lot of streams. We talk about that a lot, Clint. I just didn't.
Okay, here it is.
I did not pay for this.
I'm not sure we would have missed it there. But no, here it is. Here it is. So these guys get together.
No gloves left in the hands, and the knuckles are getting bloody here in Pensacola. And Derek Thorne moves the 53 to take the second spot. Butcher back to third. Here comes Ryan Priest in the sixth, trying to move up into the third position.
The leader already did the bumper run, got way out in front there, and I think I missed it. Spencer, can you go back to the 120-minute mark without too much trouble?
Wide for the second spot, but Chandler Smith, the new leader, first time today at lap 2.
Right around here. But yeah, great battle third. 3 cars for second there, but he got way out front there and kind of ran away from it, and they were not pleased at the end of this one.
Thorne hard really kept Thorne pinned to the outside, increasing tire wear for the 43
They weren't pleased over that move right there.
No, it was further back. It's actually hard to find. Okay, go to the go to victory lane, Spencer. Cale Thompson was down there. He caught some victory lane, and
Chandler Smith victorious.
Chandler Smith comes up to talk to him here, and he's not too happy about it. Or comes up to talk to Chandler Smith.
Who came up to talk to him?
I think we missed it too. Did we not see the beginning of that one, Spencer? He got out of his car and walked up to the side. I'm not sure what happened there.
Huh.
Adam, your video's messed up too.
Oh, so it is. Is my mic still working?
Yep. We can hear you. All right.
Well,
you boot out, Adam, and log back in.
Yep.
Spencer, let's roll the 5 flag crash. And we'll look at this. So there was a truck event as well on the weekend, and this had a wild action here. Watch this one.
Oh, contact. Oh, my. A terrible crash. A terrible, terrible crash. A terrifying accident.
Now watch. Gets turned roof first into the outside wall there, and that is so wild.
It's as bad as it gets in any kind of crash.
And like the 52, you don't think he turned down on him, Adam, to turn him that way? Now, I don't think he meant to hook him, but he definitely turned left on him.
You and I had this fight over text, so we really haven't talked about it on the phone. There is no doubt the truck on the outside made contact with the truck on the inside, but you've got to go all the way back. Now, let's start by saying the driver, although the driver wasn't okay, the driver was treated for injuries, being treated, and looks to be able to make a full recovery.
That's terrible.
But even in watching commentary online, Clinton, about how dirty this is, 3 laps to go in a race, the biggest race of the year. The truck on the outside, so the truck that got moved up the track, it was a bump and run, was out of control from turn 4 until past the start-finish line. So, Spencer, what I want you to do is take whatever shot we can that you get from turn 4. I must have watched this 20 times, Clinton, because do we want to have an argument about it or a conversation about it? Because you brought up some great points, which I agree with, but at the same time, if you
watch this,
watch the truck on the outside, sideways, still sideways, makes contact, still out of control. So at the very end, I think he was probably trying to pinch down the truck on the inside, missed his opportunity, might have been having a temper tantrum at that point.
It's hard. You know what? I never saw it that way, Adam, until you said out of control, and he's still out of control. The only question here is the last out of control intentional, or is he really trying to save it? We don't know.
Yeah, tough. Spencer, put a still shot of me or something in the front. I'm not sure why my camera keeps quitting there. So watch this. The 52 truck is loose, and I think it's probably because he wants to get back to the bottom. Watch the front tires. Out of control. He is sawing that wheel back and forth. Now he's making contact with the truck beside him, which can still knock the wheel out of your hands. At the end, I think he was... I don't think... You can't say what the driver is thinking at a given time, Clinton, but when you add up that whole accident, I'm not sure how much animosity there is in that move.
Okay, you reboot. Spencer, roll it once again. I'll give my thoughts on what I see here. Wait for Adam Clark. So as I see him come around here, okay, the 52 is a bit out of control. Hunter Johnson does get into a bit. Now, right there, stop. You can see he's got the wheels full left rudder. And to me, that is more of a pushback, more of a dirty job than it is trying to save the truck. Because he's full left rudder, like trying to pinch down. Now, I need some of the racers in the chat here to let us know what they think on this deal, whether they thought it was a good situation or not. But roll it one more time if you can, Spencer. I know you got a million things on the go trying to get Adam hooked back up. But roll it right from the start again. Let you guys comment and let us know what you think about it. Twitch, it says 100% dirty. And to me, okay, yes, he's out of control here, but watch right here. As soon as he gets past the stand, he is hard left all the way down. But I don't know, man. It's such, but either way, the end result is a horrible accident there. Roof first into the wall. Hunter Johnson, like Adam said, did need some treatment, but looks like he's going to make a full recovery. Let's look at the helmets, the helmet picks, which were pretty wild to show. Never skimp on the bucket, it says here in our title. This is his steel helmet, and that's probably a $2,000 or $3,000 helmet itself right there. And that is direct contact with the outer concrete wall. Super scary, but good to show that the steel helmet did its job. Show the other picture, Spence. Man, these are like motorcycle crash helmets picks that you see. You don't usually see race car helmets that look like that have the road rash, but the steel did a great job. The carbon fiber all held up underneath the shell, and hey, he's still with us, so that's a great deal. I agree, Pissy. That wasn't an FU. I'm with you there. And Adam and I, we argued about this. We're still waiting for Adam to get reconnected. We argued about this quite a bit when we had talked about. I'm laughing because Adam's picture still is up there. Are you there, Adam? All right. So we tell you don't skip on the bucket. Rob Young is the Southern Ontario Motor Speedway Competition Director. He's going to be joining us here on Zoom as well. Last week, we talked about some of the policies at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, and Rob reached out to me and said, hey, I'd like to come on and discuss some of the plans there, which is awesome to have them reach out and want to come out and talk to us. So we're excited to have him out, and we see that Rob is just connected now, and even though Adam's not here, he's going to be super impressed that Rob is wearing a Ray Morneau Jr. shirt today. So we appreciate that coming in. Without further ado, let's bring in our guests, as we can't seem to get our other partner on the line. And Rob, welcome to the program here at Race Rivalz. Thanks for joining us today. So tell us a bit about your role and what you've taken on here at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway.
Well, 3 weeks ago, I guess I was still a driver. Now I'm the competition director. So I guess the competition director oversees a lot of the rules and regulations at the track. Most everything that doesn't pertain to the grandstands or the concession out front, stuff like that. So that's what I do, and I tell you, it's a full-time job. I didn't think there would be that much to it, and not that I expected to show up on Saturday at 4:00 and go home at midnight. So, yep, there's a lot more to this than I'd really thought about. So, yep, I'm up to it though. So I'm a little bit old. I'm 62, a little bit old to be a driver. So I guess that's why they decided that maybe this is what I should be doing.
Rob, tell us a bit about your driving career, where you raced, and a bit about your history. Let's start with that.
Well, how much time do we have? You want the short version or the long version?
We need to keep it short.
All right. Okay, so I started at Buxton, which was Raceland Speedway in '81, and I raced about 6 times and completely destroyed the car and tore down the back fence and decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I went to the asphalt, and in '82, I went from just being a driver to a racer. The guys I raced with there were Russ Wood and Len Couvion, Mike Duffy, Mike Noller, to name a few, and then we had a lot of the Delaware guys come down. Ronnie Ling, Johnny Gower, the Baker boys, Darren and Terry. They taught me how to race. It was nose to tail, bump and grind. It was the factory stock division. And man, you had to bring your A game every week to that thing. And things were a little different back then. It was you still had 60 to 80 drivers, but you really only had 2 divisions. You had street stocks and late models, and the guys from the street stock division would graduate to we had we flashed the Australian Pursuit Heat Race and Feature, and then in about '88, I decided that business and a family was a little bit more important. So I gave it up and pursued that career. And then 20 years later, I was walking through the pits at Buxton, and a buddy of mine was having a problem with his power steering pump, and the next thing you know, I'm right back in it again. So, and that brings me to now where we just finished up. We're now in the late model division, and so just this past weekend we sort of closed the doors on 2021. We're not going to have a banquet. There's not going to be an awards banquet or anything like that because of all of the COVID restrictions and whatnot. So we're starting to plan towards 2022 with book a facility that we can have. So I mean, I can't, nor can anyone say that things are going to change, but we hope they will. We were fortunate enough to open up this year. There was a lot that said that Henry wouldn't get the track open, but he did, and we have a fine racing facility there now. So I think that there's only good things to come here coming up in 2022. Is that the short version?
If that's your short version, we need a longer show. So
I see.
Let's get down to the business of it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Adam's back. Let's get down to the business of it. So, Rob, you've got an uphill battle there. Let's call it spade a spade. Buxton is a tough place to have a race direct. It's a tough rough and tumble place. I told Henry that when he met it. Our best race director, Doug Leonard, had a tough time hacking it down there because it's a tough situation. How are you going to change the culture at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway and make it a great place to race that it can be?
Well, first of all, I don't know. I'm just going to take it in small bites, a little bit at a time. I think I'm sort of right now, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I want to get my feet wet and learn a little bit more about this end of it. I know that last week you guys were talking about our social media problem, and so here's how it went. And again, let's just hit the nail on the head. So we felt that something regarding social media should be added to our general rules, and so we had nowhere else to look other than some of the other tracks, and I'm going to say, unfortunately, I came across the dirt car rule in their sportsmanlike conduct, and it's very wordy and it's very sort of in your face, and we sort of adopted that, and I think that might have been what the problem was. So in the meantime, when I went back and looked on our own website, not in our rules and regulations, but there was another part that at the bottom they had this little thing regarding social media. And if you want, I don't want to take a lot of your time, but let me read it to you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I think you'll find that this is just a little bit gentler. Okay. So it says this was 2021 social media policy regarding social media posts on Facebook, Twitter, message boards, etc. Everyone must be aware that posting in social media is like speaking into a live microphone. Media outlets can and quite often do pick up on social media contents. Be aware that all teams depend on their sponsors to race weekly. Everyone should respect the value of our fan base and sponsors. By the time an offensive post or tweet shows up, it is too late to stop the spiraling effect for the Speedway. You may feel that you cannot control the comments made in support of your initial comments, but that is not the case. Negative social media is in any form of the Speedway officials, the drivers will not be tolerated. Depending on the severity of the incident, fines or suspensions may be assessed. Please help us by speaking with your entire team of this policy. If you have any questions, please contact us. So it's a little gentler. Now I know, should we have it in there? Honestly, I'm up and down on this thing, but if we have something there that says, just calm this thing down a little bit, okay? Like, we don't need to be bashing everybody. Does that help a little bit?
For sure. And I think, Rob, you're setting a tone, and that's the big thing, is creating a culture where everyone has a good time. You'd like for none of the rules to be necessary, but you have to present them somehow. So
yeah.
It's going to be, you obviously know what you're up against and you know what you have going for you. So I think it'll be an exciting winter, and I'm sure we'll like to talk to you throughout it.
But when I was a kid in grade 2, and I don't know how old you guys are, you're probably in your 30s, but I had a grade 2 teacher. Her name was Mrs. Smith. All right. And she had a tough time controlling the kids in the class, mostly the boys. All right. We're kids, right? And so the place sounded like a chicken house. And Mrs. Smith had this 36-inch yardstick. It wasn't centimeters at that time; it was inches. And all of a sudden, she'd smack that thing on the desk, and everybody's all right. So sometimes maybe it does take Mrs. Smith slapping that real yardstick on the table to say, "Hey, listen up here a little bit, okay, guys?" Now the other problem is that there's because Buxton's been around a long time. There's a lot of the Hatfield McCoy things that go on here. Now, I'm not from the Chatham-Kent area. I'm from Amherstburg, so I'm an hour away. But I see these things have been going on for years. They've got these feuds, and so this is the easiest way I can say it. And I don't know about you guys if you ever watched Lion King or anything like that, but and if you haven't, you're going to have to do it. So because this is my best analogy. So Simba's dad has been killed, all right, and Simba feels responsible. So they're in the jungle, and Rafiki goes whack on Simba's head, and Simba says, "Ow, that hurts." And Rafiki says, it doesn't matter. I know, but it still hurts. Doesn't matter. It's in the past. And that's exactly what has to happen. Forget about it. We're going to move on. As I said, we closed the door on 2021 this past weekend, and we're gonna head into 22. And we've got some great people. Not only the staff at SOMS, but I had a chance when I kind of walked away from the driver's seat to watch some of the racing in our Thunder stocks, in our modifieds, late models, and mini stocks. And one thing I noticed was we've got some young people out there who they're in their 20s, and I'll just make a few references, few names. Jake Hooker is one of our late model drivers. He's a cocky little bugger, but he's a hell of a race car driver. And he's bringing a whole bunch of people out there, and they're all getting excited. Some people come there just to see what Jake's going to do. In our Thunder stock division, we've got 4 people I can think of that come to mind. Calvin Fox. I'm thinking of Paige Lanou. I can go on because these are young kids, and they're getting this big following of other young people. They're bringing their parents out there. This is something that we have to build on, and we want to keep these people coming back. And they're putting people in the grandstands, and so it's not you can always go anywhere and see all the old guys race, but these young ones, they race hard every lap. I mean, it's like it's the last lap. So those are the really good things I see at SOMS, and I just can't wait for the season to start over.
Rob, I mean, we wish you all the best. You got an uphill battle there, but I think you got the right head. We're going to be talking to you in the new year. We'll definitely follow up with your plans over there and follow your progress. It's good to see someone take the reins over there and do what they got to do to get the drivers back where they need to be.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You know, I can't say enough about that. You guys are doing a great job with Race Rival there and G-Force. So keep up the good work. I'm looking forward to.
Thanks so much, Rob.
All right, take
care.
Right
on. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Well,
if I could get Decker to sit still, it would have been the perfect transition.
Too funny.
But he won't.
Good luck to Rob and everybody at Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. We'll definitely be following that story. I mean, it's something we followed on this show from when Henry first tore it all apart and put it back together. The crowds there at him are certainly nothing to shake a stick at. They have the crowds every other track in Ontario wants. So we certainly want them to make things go the way they need to be going over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of support. What was the verdict on the truck crash?
Dirty across the board. Dumped them. Scary.
Yeah,
that was
and I think it was. The conversation that we had, though, as an announcer, you've got to be really careful how you call that. First off, you've got to change the subject. As soon as that crash ends, and I've seen a lot of crashes, I'm assuming that driver is seriously hurt.
You watched
Not a little
peanut
hurt.
butter again?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what his deal is, but not a little hurt. Like, I mean, you see that, you're waiting for emergency protocol. So that changes the tone of how you're going to talk in a hurry.
I love how you keep a straight face and stay right on topic when your dog's French kiss in your ear. That is awesome. Let's move on to some more serious business. The GM crate situation now that we talked about on the show here maybe a month ago, GM finally came out with some information. And I spoke to Rick Scott, our Canadian, who we get our motors from at GSR. He told me that there's going to be some news coming out later this week for the Canadians, and it'll be an official statement here for the Canadian powertrain situation. This came out of the States last week, but it is good news. It shows GM is acknowledging the problem, and they're making a plan to give racers a way in. This was a story that aired on Outside Groove last week. 602 and 604 crate racers can now file claims for issues with their motors. Just run through them quickly here, Spencer. As there's a couple situations, it explains the customer claim process. Affected customers should call the GM Powertrain and Performance Parts Contact Center at the phone number listed and reference the relevant bulletin code. If appropriate, the customers will return their engine to Chevrolet Performance Dealer. In turn, the dealer will ship the engine to GM to confirm its eligibility for the special coverage claim. There were a couple situations specifically listed in this one, Spencer. the clearance stack-up bulletin was one situation, and the other one was missing oil drain holes with one of the other 602 situations they found out, and they know the date codes and the runs, so they're looking into that. So that's an update on that. That could be a big item for some of the racers who bought engines. I know we have touched it a bit, as we talked about in the past. So good news there.
It is for sure, and it segues fairly nicely into our next topic, if I'm not mistaken, Clint.
Yeah, Brian's racing auction coming up mid-January. Excited to get this out there. More and more parts and pieces and racing items keep rolling in for the Brian's Farm Racers auction that's coming up in about a month and a little bit. We're going to put in at least one converted one converted 602 crate engine for sprint crate races, and that is fully ready to drop in and go. And we may just have another 602 crate, which have been very difficult to get. And the price has gone up dramatically on them. I don't even know if I want to say this out loud because people are going to shit their pants. But I got a message today, and it said the new list price of a 602 crate. And let me tell you this. I don't think any of us have sold a crate at list around here. And fair, we're always below list. But do you know what the list price is? Guess what a list price is?
What was the old list price?
Damn, I don't know, but it was around $4,000 when we started this whole thing 10, 15 years ago.
I'll bet you a new list is $7,500.
$84.49. So $84.50 for list price. We were selling
price of everything.
At GSR. We were selling the 602s up until the end of the season at $5,300. So we are well below that list, and the list just went up as well because of supply chain issues and all the other situations. So crazy.
So you're saying you're putting 2 crate engines into the auction?
I'm not guaranteeing that one for sure. Possibly a brand new 602 that's not converted. I'll confirm that by next week. But nice. We just got our hands on it. I think it's going to be a hot item because, especially if you can't get crates and you need a new one, this is a brand new build. After the issues they've had, it's going to be good to rock. So,
and if you have a turnkey race car, you're looking to sell, reach out, talk to Clint or myself, or better yet, email Joel at Brian's Auctions, because Clint, I think we're to the point where the raffles have sort of run their course. And I say that because of this Rob Murray raffle, and I even bought tickets for it, but it shocks me that a winning Thunderstock with reasonable price tickets, and they haven't sold out that raffle yet. And it's been, going on a month now.
I don't know if they've run their course. I mean, some of these guys out there are making a career out of it. And don't even get me started on that. I mean, some guys are making fortunes off this, and they've done it time and time again. I get it, you want to raffle off one car or one part, but these guys are buying items to raffle them off. I mean, man, when the government comes knocking, they are up shit's creek.
Yeah, and make no mistake, they do it because you can make more money that way. People aren't doing it because it's fun or because it's novel. They're doing it because they can make more money than they would selling it otherwise 90% of the time.
It's become an epidemic in racing. What other sport are people auctioning off all their equipment every year? It's not. I shouldn't even say auction because it's the wrong term. Raffling off or waffling them off as they try and skirt the laws by changing the R to a W, as if we all don't know what's happening. Moving on, the Dome. St. Louis Gateway Nationals indoor dirt race that was last weekend, and Tyler Carpenter steals the show again. So many stories coming out of there. But before we get into that, let's look at our Burger Barn video of the week, Adam. This is a young race fan who is super pumped when the announcement went off that it's time to start the heat races and the car's fired up. Just check out this video. It's our Burger Barn video of the week.
Stop!
How can you not have a big old smile on your face when you watch that?
I love it. That's awesome. Whatever your name is, buddy, you look me up. You get a ticket to any show we have anything to do with,
right?
And we'd love to have your type there. Yeah, buddy. Find us. That is so cool. If we all had that excitement, Adam, just from the cars firing up, you got to love it. Tyler Carpenter, though, Adam, he kind of came to the forefront at the first, indoor nationals in St. Louis. How would you describe him?
You know what?
Are you going to use the R word?
I have seen more of his wife than I've seen of Tyler. Like, I only know Tyler up until recently. I only know Tyler through the social media posts of his wife.
Well, there was some family drama going on.
The mother of 5 of his children.
No, I think
she's.
I don't know how many.
I think they got 5 kids.
Yeah, I don't know if they're all hers.
Oh, that could be. No, I think it doesn't matter. But so she's famously made posts that have gone racing viral and brags on her husband, and good for her, and nags on her husband, and good for her. And but now Tyler was the star of the show this weekend. I mean, right from driver introductions, which were absolutely fantastic, to his victory, and everything in between, the videos, the interviews. Do we have the interview that he did?
Did we get that interview, Spencer? So this was after he won the preliminary night, and there's so many other things that gone. He ended up getting fined for shoes. Play the video, Spencer.
Taylor Carpenter. He hops down, and Tyler, well, we talked about the heat race. Boy, you put the pressure on Gordy Gundaker with this little bet now, eh?
Oh, man, Gordy kissed my ass. I'm here for me, this crowd, my people. He's just one of them guys. I didn't know him really from Adam and Eve, ran him a little bit from here and there. He's just one of them, like the rest of you, keyboard warriors. That's why it's on my spoiler. This race is for all you pussies. We're here, we're in Victory Lane. I'm gonna earn my ass a truck ride, and y'all's gonna have to watch it.
Yeah! Ricky Thornton Jr., he wasn't very happy with how you drove him throughout the race. Is that just one of those instances where it's the dome, we're hanging it all out there, man?
Well, here's the way I see it. You don't come here to make friends. I don't want to make no damn enemies, but I did come here to make friends. And I'd be daggone if I give this race up over lap traffic. I don't think you had a bone in the fight in clean air. I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but I was going to win this race.
What is it about this place that Tyler Carpenter shines? Because you are the dome now, and the dome is Tyler Carpenter, it seems.
I love it, man. I love being the face of this place. Love me or hate me, I didn't even care, but I'll tell you why I love this place. It's an equalizer. I can't run with these guys. I can't even sniff their ass in on them big tracks. And it ain't because they ain't got the capability. I can wheel just as good as anybody. Because I ain't got the backbone that these guys got. I got to work every day, feed 5 kids and my family, and run a business. So I'm here where it shows a real racer. If you got to earn it, bust your ass and you'll get it.
How about...
You fan Adam, or you don't like it?
I love it. I love it, and I'm actually answering texts from the Hooker family right now. They're questioning some of Rob's comments, like, "Hey, man, as long as they pronounce your name right and they're talking about you, that's good. Any PR is good PR."
I'm a big fan of Tyler Carpenter over what I've seen the last couple of years at this race alone. I'm actually thinking about bringing him up to the Pinty's race. He's such a character. So this is another thing that happened. He jumps out of the car. He's wearing Hey Dude shoes. I didn't even know what Hey Dude shoes were. I had to look it up. So show what they are first, Spencer. Well, that's the second picture, but we jumped right to the punchline. But the Hey Dude shoes, he got out. Show the other picture. So he's wearing these shoes, which are not fire retardant, gets out. They fined him $1,000. What they were referring to in that last segment there is Gordy Gundaker came on as a keyboard warrior. Another racer said, "Oh, you're nothing. You're just a fluke." He said, "Put your money where your mouth is." Well, so Tyler ends up winning the race, wins $1,000 bet from Gordy Gundaker, and that paid his $1,000 fine for wearing the Hey Dude shoes. And then, of course, the internet never rests. By the morning, they have Hey Dude, SFI, Tyler Carpenter shoes out there with the sponsor logos on them. And you got to love that the internet is always ready to rock and roll. So,
do you have shoe rules at Ushweekend?
I don't think we do.
I don't know of a lot of sanctioning bodies that have rules on what shoes you can wear.
Gloves,
Hell,
yes.
What was his Frig, I should know his name. What's the guy's name? He's a rebel. He won a midget race this year, and he ran hot laps at the Chili Bowl on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I know it's highly frowned upon. I mean, I remember Jesse McDonald won a bomber race at Oshweek and got out on the front straightaway, and we had Jesse, congratulations, but you're disqualified. You're not wearing a fire suit. Go back to the pits. Bring me out second place. And that was a good laugh, but you got to play safe. So, but Tyler Carpenter, what he said is, you're going to have to all watch me win a truck ride. He ended up winning the whole deal on Saturday night. And Nice Motorsports put up a truck ride for the Knoxville Dirt Race to whoever could win that. And Carpenter won it. So congratulations. And Tyler, if you're watching, get in touch with me because we need to get you up to Osh Weekend for one of these races one way or another. I'm sure you'd sell a shit ton of tickets for us. So we need to make that happen. We have to keep hustling.
And we're going to run overtime, but that's okay. It's our last show of the year. This is how marketing works. It's a perfect storm that Tyler's too busy to be on social media, building up his own profile. Aisha does a great job, his wife, promoting what he does. And people like her for different reasons. It's not that much different in my mind than, say, Mandy Pouch and Mike Mahaney, although Mandy Pouch has huge racing credentials, but she's a very pretty woman, and she's not shy about being pretty, and tying that whole thing into a successful package, right? So if that's what it takes for Tyler to be a big deal with Aisha and their 5 kids, get a truck ride, it's kind of the perfect storm. It's organic. It's not fabricated.
Spencer, let us know when you're good to go again. He's working with some controller issues. Adam.
So when my camera froze, I get the blue screen of death on my computer, which is bad enough, so it has to restart. As it's restarting, your Windows update is now, do not shut off your computer. I'm watching it 15%, 20%, like, oh, shit.
And you had to wait for it to come back?
Oh, yeah.
That's rough.
What are your thoughts on dirt car not wanting engine builders? What is this for, all classes or just for some classes?
Okay, so I read it came out at Dirt Car. What we're talking is Dirt Car Owns the Hood. It came out yesterday big time on social media, maybe even the day before that. It was a rule that was listed here, and I got to actually look it up because Spencer's having controller issues. I don't know if I did send him this. Hold on. So we're talking about the DBR on the hood, the Dave Blaney Racing logo, the DBR, and there it is circled. So that logo right there caused a big stir in the dirt world in the last 24 hours. And here is new dirt car rule 19.1.10. In 2022, the only lettering graphics that will be permitted in a crate engine class, so that answers your question, on the hood or hood scoop will be GM Performance Crate or Dirt Car / GM Performance Crate. So that had racers up in arms everywhere, Adam, because racers had got their engines tuned. You know, they couldn't be built, but you'd still take it in for dyno service. You'd have all this thing. And racers were pissed about this. You don't own our car. You don't pay our bills. How can you tell us what we can run on it? And it got out of hand. Now, I should probably jump in and tell you that I read today that Dirt Car rescinded this rule today. Late today is what I'm told. And we're still trying to confirm that. But it was mentioned that Dean Reynolds had revoked this rule.
That's weak. That is weak. If you're going to make the rule, enforce the rule. I can tell you, for different reasons, back when people started doing custom suits and when TV became a thing, the people getting the most publicity were Simpson, Leaf, Pyrotech, because that was on the throat of every driver in every headshot, to the point where they started to say you cannot have the suit manufacturer in that spot. You can have your main sponsor or nothing. Right? Because it's a sellable spot. Like it's a lot of PR there. In my opinion, with a crate class, just disqualify them for having a sponsor that's a performance engine partner. They don't belong. They don't belong in those classes, period. Like that, they've made such a mess of a simple concept that it's embarrassing.
But Adam, having the sticker on the side doesn't mean shit about what's under the hood.
Put it somewhere else. But just the thought alone. If you're going to make the rule, if someone sat down in a meeting and thought enough about it to create a rule, stand by the rule and tell them you can't put it there. Fly a flag off the roof of the car with your engine builder if you want. That's what's really weird. Like putting
Andrew
out
Gates
a rule
says,
and then...
The rule got started at the beginning of the past season. They had it. And someone had Ender's maple syrup logo on their hood. So Ender's is a big engine builder for those that don't know or familiar with the situation. So they just had the same Ender's logo, but instead of performance engines, it said maple syrup in small letters under it. Everybody still knew what the point was. I don't think there's any reason, for this rule. Just police it in tech. If they want to, hey, if Ender's wants to come out and give $10,000 to Brad Rouse to sponsor him, what is it any business as long as the car meets the specs? It's just, to me, it was policed the wrong way. Here it is.
Probably. But I do have a strong dislike for the way the crate engine program has been handled in so many places, and dirt car is a big one.
Well, I can let you in on some of the stuff that we're doing here with the ODCC. A big problem we've got is you've got a ton of these cores around for crates, and we've often said you can't rebuild them, you can't do anything. In speaking with some of the engine builders, in order to be able to put a piston in you have to hone them out, which means they're now overboard, which means they're more cubic inches than stock, which is worse. So I can tell you, we are working on a program with the ODCC. It will be an overbore, but with a dished piston that will allow a lot of these cores to come back. I'm not even going to get you into it. It's none of your business, but you have to
put a claim rule. Put a claim rule that's the price of a motor. Say, hey, yeah, you can go overboard, run these pistons, but your motor can be claimed for whatever Ohsweken Speedway Racehorse is selling a new crate for. So if you lose your motor, you're happy to lose your motor and get a brand new one and bring it in.
There's situations.
Engine builders are the last people to listen to on this crate engine debate. And I'll talk to engine builders. I've talked to a couple in the area recently. They're busier than they have ever been. So I don't feel bad saying that. But don't. It's just.
The issue you've got is you've got a ton of broken crates that are just dying that nobody can do anything with, that they could be repurposed. And the first thing, Adam, that you think, if you think what I've said all along is we need to be opening these motors up and tacking them, pretending that the GM bolts is the end of the stop is stopping the situation. It ain't. That's like trying to stop water with a sieve. It ain't gonna work, So there's lots of stuff that is in the works and being proposed. None of it's official yet, but I can tell you there's lots of things being thrown at the ODCC on how to handle that. Let's move on. And everybody's saying if it's not factory sealed, it's a built motor. Factory seals proves that. That's the biggest crock of shit ever. And yeah, we allow built motors already. So it's nothing new. It's just a different way. Where are we going from here? Viewer questions. This got sent to us right before we went on the air. Kyle Tomaski sent in a question, and he said, hey, just a talk for discussion. You got crate sprints and 360s. Do you think there would ever be a market for 10 in Eastern Canada, Ontario/Quebec? I don't believe there is. We're so strong with the 360s and the crates now. Trying to start a third division. I mean, the topless sprints are trying to do that right now. They'll allow anything to run with them. But I don't think it's going to take off the way they want it to. Most of that stuff is guys that have old cars just coming out to play.
If you want to go 410 racing, if you're serious enough to want to go 410 racing, Clinton, I dare say you're going to travel to the States anyhow. That's where the competition is. That's where the big shows are. It would be a long growth process up here, and I'm not sure if the juice would be worth the squeeze, right?
I mean, as a promoter of crates and 360s, I have zero interest in starting a 410 division. I'm with you, Adam. Ohio and Pennsylvania, depending on where you are in our neck of the woods, are 3-4 hours each way. they start March 1st when the snow's still around. Hell, they plow the track so they can pack it at Lincoln in March. So, I mean, you want to go 410, there's way more racing for you a few hours away than we're at. But we appreciate
not that it wouldn't be fun. I don't think it's feasible.
Yeah, no. So, Kyle, we appreciate the question. That's 2 weeks in a row. Kyle sent in a good topic for us to discuss. We always appreciate it. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about, send it in. NASCAR Naked Chassis, Adam. NASCAR Hammond Motorsports had a preview of the NASCAR chassis, what it's going to look like next year's car without the body on it. It was a neat look. It's about a 1-minute video. Roll that now, Spencer.
Got him for that. You had a patent on that deal. Tri-City Buggy was years and years ahead of their time.
What I find interesting about this, Adam, is bolt-on rear and front clips. So we've seen clips be replaced up there. You can see the junction. 4 bolts on 4 different corners are holding the car together, both front and back. So very easy to change the sections on the car. Do we have audio, Spencer?
Bolt together in the front. Kirky's doing the bumpers. Put all the bars in there. All right.
Well, surprised that Kirky's doing the bumpers.
2022 Cup chassis.
And of course, this is a whole new cost saving. I don't think we're calling it the car of tomorrow anymore. That was a few years back. But the 2022 car that they're going to be rolling out, a lot of new innovations there, a lot of cost savings, a lot of specified vendors, if you will. So they're saying you can only buy the bumpers from Kirky, you can only buy this part from this vendor, and that's going to keep the price down because prices are all fixed. I love that platform, Adam. I think it could do wonders if you can get, the right people involved. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people are going to be shut out. If you ever tried to do that here in Ontario, people would flip out. But I think that's the way to get costs back in. There's no competition. There's no running up the costs. Everybody pays the same. I like that. Do you like that platform?
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I like the concept. I think it needs to happen at every level. Sanctioning bodies need to protect racers against themselves, and NASCAR didn't do that for a long, long time, and the cost got exponentially huge.
I don't disagree at all. This was another headline that came down. NASCAR going to have hybrid by 2024, and that kind of shocked me. I mean, the whole world is going electric. But, wow, NASCAR hybrid by 2024. Do you find that a bit shocking? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how invested they are in it. I don't know how far they're going. I don't know how hybrid they're going to go. Right? Like a hybrid doesn't necessarily mean 50-50 or 90-10. It means a combination of multiple things. So, there's probably still a little ways to go in that technology, but they have to go. If we want racing to carry on the way it is, it has to happen to some degree.
At a speaking engagement, Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, said NASCAR will have some type of hybrid engine system with an electrification component beginning in 2024. So like you said, wouldn't be full on. And the NASCAR Senior Vice President for Racing and Innovation said the series could introduce hybrid powertrains as early as 2022. They said that a couple years ago. So we'll see how they integrate that in. Obviously, with everything is going that way, I don't know. I'm worried about us all going electric. Can you believe we're all going to be electric by 2035?
No, it doesn't sound feasible at the moment, does it? But progress is happening. And, racing is still going to be around. We can be sure of that. But how it's going to look, I'm sure it'll be a lot different.
Yeah, a lot of changes to come. I mean, just look at what our parents saw as far as innovations went in the racing world from the time they got in until the time they got out,
I mean, for a techie, who would have believed if you told them 20 years ago NASCAR be fuel injected?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. One more segment to go, and then we're on vacation. Don't forget, we will be off for the next 3 Tuesdays. We'll be back January 4th. Adam will be back all tanned and svelte or sunburned like a lobster, one way or the other. That's maybe the pool we should take. See if you come back looking like a Greek god or if you look like a sunburned beach ball.
I will look like the Greek god of pastries.
There you go.
Not to be confused with the Greek god of pasties, which are tassels you put on your ghibli bits.
See, you knew what they were, and you even knew what you called your ghibli bits, so that scares me. Have you ever worn tassels?
No, I haven't. It's free form. I don't plan the shit that comes out of my mouth, believe it or not.
If you get tassels on your ghibli bits this Christmas vacation, make sure we get the pictures like we got the under boob shirt we got from you last year.
Oh, that was a winner. I've already been forbidden from taking that on our vacation with us. So
we had talked about what we're going to do to fill this space for the next 3 weeks. The winner was sock puppet mocks of us. So anybody you guys want to, that's your Christmas challenge. If you can do, if you can mock us with sock puppets on your mockumentary and send it to us. Yeah, a mockumentary of us over the Christmas. No matter if it's let's say 2 minutes long, at least.
I wouldn't put any rules. Don't make rules you don't want to enforce.
Fair enough. If anybody comes up with a documentary about us over Christmas, we'll hook you up with a cool prize back.
Or give you a job.
No. So, all right, we have one more segment to go. Garrett, Tiemersma.
Tiemersma.
T. Mr. T. That's what I'm going to call him for now.
GT. I told him that. I told him we should probably coin him GT and do ourselves a favor. But we'll keep at it. I can't tell you how much of a great job he's doing. It's hard to do what he's doing, and huge thank you. And before we throw it to his bit, because that's going to be the end, I think. Clinton, are we coming back, or are we just going to close with the Team Risma vlog?
We're closing and moving on to 2022. So,
Merry Christmas. Thank you to everybody. Like, I've never experienced kindness like we have at the racetrack, Clinton, this year in 2021. It was so it's wonderful. Like, we love the work that we do, and we're so appreciative the people love it as much as they do. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you to the people who tell us how we can do a better job. I love it all.
I agree. It's been great. The response this year has been great. Thanks to all of our crew who helped us out, whether you were, working camera or slugging cable or whatever you did to help us out. We appreciate it. Even all the folks that went out and promoted and shared the videos all year long and made sure everybody knew when we were at a racetrack. We couldn't have done it without you. Thanks so much. We have such a great time. On behalf of all of us, thanks. And Twitch, it makes me laugh. She said, wait, Adam's in Mexico and Clinton's in Canada. We really are getting 2 Christmases. But yeah, they'll be happy Christmases, not divorced Christmases. We're all good. Thanks so much, Spencer. Man, what can we say about you? If there's anything we're thankful for in our life, it's you, buddy. You've taken Adam and I and our whole crew and Greg and made us look like rock stars. And we appreciate everything that you, Daniel, and all the behind-the-scenes guys do. Jeremy this year as well. Fantastic work. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
I think that's it. It's been a great year. I can't believe we're signing off. Like it feels like nowhere near the end of the year, and here we are already talking about January.
Are you getting sentimental? Is this what's going on here?
Hell no.
Man up.
Here comes GT's video. We'll see you in the new year.
Adios, amigos.
Garrett, welcome back to Team 17 and our second installment of our off-season vlog. All right, welcome to the second vlog, guys. I just wanted to say thank you for all the support on the first one. I did appreciate all the comments that I got. I got a couple messages from people saying they watched them and they really enjoyed it. So I will try to keep this up. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Onwards and upwards from here. So as I'm sure you just noticed, the shop looks a little bit different. The car looks a little bit different because we've taken out the engine already. The engine's on the stand. It's ready to go to Speedy Auto Machine because we're gonna send it to those guys to get a dyno tune and just make sure everything's up to par, everything's up to our winning standard, you know. And hopefully we didn't damage it at all last year. I mean, we didn't really overheat it at all. So we're just doing our due diligence to make sure everything is up to our standards. But I did grab some time-lapse footage of us taking out the engine. I think it was around 4 hours that it took us to do. Typically it's around an hour and a half to 2. But my dad and I, with the main crew chief, we were kind of taking it easy and just kind of catching up. So having a good time and sharing some stories, because that's really what it's about in the race shop. So on that note, roll the footage of us taking out our engine. Geez, we took out everything in the driveline basically. So roll the time lapse. We've got a clean engine bay, onwards and upwards from here. So I don't really have too much time-lapse footage of us completing a lot of work, because right now we're changing some pretty fundamental things that I don't know if I can really show off as much as I would like to. But I figured that I would give you guys a little bit of a shop tour today because, well, I can't really show you a lot else of what we're doing for our work this week. So I figured I'd show you where we work. This is the start. As soon as you walk in, you get a nice look at our pit box, all our tools. Nice clock made by Ken Wright, our crew guy, backup spotter, one of the best guys, one of the most committed guys that we've had in our team over the last, I don't know, however many years. There's too many to count. But right here, obviously, is the where the car sits on the left side of the garage. We have a lot of storage solution up here with a lot of old driveline parts, such as rear ends and oil drainage basins, and shelves full of products and some tools that we're going to use. In the back over here, we've got our storage room, our inventory room. And basically, it's where we store all of our extra parts and stuff that we're probably not going to use. And right now, we are storing our new body panels, which just came in this week. And we're going to be throwing a new nose on. We're throwing new fenders, new doors, new quarter panels, new tail cone. We're replacing it all. We want our car to look pristine and clean for next year's opening race. And that all starts with a fresh new body. On the far side of the garage here, we've got a lot of our work area. Here we've got a tire changer because we are always changing tires with our race car. Typically every week I'm changing at least 4 or 8. In the corner, we've got a really old mill that's probably as old, if not older than me, that was bought for 50 bucks when a dealership was throwing it away. So we kind of scored out on that. We've got a little bit of a workspace here and some more electrical tools where we design a lot of our steel work. And on top of that, we also have our brand new nose grill screen, which I got to paint black because silver won't really fit the color scheme for next year. But I hope you've enjoyed this second video. I've enjoyed making these videos for you guys. It's only been the 1 or 2 that I've tried, but I've had an absolute blast and I've had a lot of positive feedback on it. So I'm going to keep it up. Hopefully they get better. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I get to do this with GeForce TV. You know, this was a great opportunity, and hopefully we can keep it moving this way. For now, I guess that's all for now for this week, but we'll definitely have some more content coming out in the next couple of weeks. There's always stuff going on at Teams of Motorsports. So for now, I'm Garrett for GeForce TV. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you in the third one.